Ma'am, could you please tell us about your shirt?
What do you want me to tell you?
What does it mean? Whose black vote was suppressed today?
Any black vote, okay? Have you not been following the Supreme Court?
What did the Supreme Court do that suppressed the black vote?
Who are you?
My name is Adam
It's weird to
Francisco.
put a camera in someone's face in public.
Oh, that's actually the First Amendment.
Yeah, it's a First Amendment.
Comfortable with camera in your face?
Well, look at her shirt. She's
Well,
sending a
now that I
message.
see Make America
Yeah,
Great
maybe
Again,
no.
if he's a MAGA, no, I don't feel comfortable.
Maybe we're not going to do that. Maybe we're not going to harass people in public. Yeah, that's weird.
That's funny that you think the First Amendment is harassment, ma'am.
Coming with people with cameras in their face is weird.
So is hating the First Amendment, ma'am.
Democrat voter, guys. Democrat voter. Charlie Kirk said, when conversation stops, that's when the violence starts. And I'll be honest with you, I'm yet to find a video. I'm sure that there are videos out there where there are people who vote left no matter what, and they engage in good faith conversations with people on the right. So it's really frustrating to see this because you know what? Anyway, I'm going to be quiet. Gardening, good to see you in the chat. Guys, please like the video, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. We're going to just jump through a few reels. Intergalactic Wrangler, good to see you in the chat. All right, now we're going to cover a few things. Intergalactic Wrangler, we're going to talk about the videos you sent over. Gardening, you know, we're going to talk. Because there's so much coming at us, and I think we have to figure out what we do with the excess content. So maybe we'll just do it in the members-only live streams. I think we can take advantage of the members-only live streams, which right now I've scheduled for Tuesdays, lunchtime on Tuesdays, Eastern. So we'll talk about that for a bit. Okay, so liberal woman stomps on Trump's Hollywood star. Okay. Yeah. Sound.
Question. What drives you to kick a star in Hollywood? What motivates someone to act so violently towards an inanimate object? It's just a strange outburst of violence towards an inanimate object on the ground.
It's called mental health issues, okay? The left are so brainwashed. They've taken leave of reality. I don't want to say of their senses, but they've taken leave of reality that any contact with reality creates an allergic reaction. All right. So here's another. And the sad thing is when I see elderly people like this act out because they see a MAGA hat.
I mean, if I had a aren't you a little afraid of being hurt?
No, I'm not that. We have the
He says, if I had a gun, I'd shoot you.
camera.
Should we be?
But should we
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
think in LA? There's a chance. But in Beverly Hills?
I mean, if I had a
No, you wouldn't. You probably.
no, I wouldn't. But it's not appreciated. But there's MAGA people in Beverly Hills.
Right.
They're everywhere.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it's like
All right. So do you think he's joking? Because he said it 2 or 3 times. And then they asked him, are you really serious? He says, well, no. But do you think he's serious? Okay, let me know in the chat.
like cancer. It's everywhere.
We're just showing it out. We're proud.
Okay, so MAGA supporters are like a cancer. All right. Now, let's watch one more because, of course, you have the Garden Fresh. You have the Garden Fresh. Oops, I made a mistake. We have the Garden Fresh leftist protester screaming obscenities that Trump eats children.
Yeah. Wait. Can you tell me?
Millionaires need to go!
Tell me where in the Epstein files does he eat children? Where does he eat children? Wait, where does Trump eat children in the Epstein files? Where does he eat the kids in the Epstein files? Where? Where does it happen? Where in the Epstein files does he eat children?
I don't know.
Where does he eat children?
They say that the children taste like cream cheese. It's in the
They said-
files.
Trump
They
did it.
hire their own doctors and their own dentists to remove the teeth of children. Read the files.
Where does Donald Trump do this?
He is part of it.
So, of course, she's lying. Of course, she's lying. So, guys, we're going to look at a few developing stories. Guys, Elon Musk just became a trillionaire. Elon Musk, look, I was expecting a meltdown, and I was not disappointed. Pocahontas, guys.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire.
Did he steal the money? Okay, because she's talking like he stole the money.
Elon Musk is officially the... Think about that. We're living at a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy. And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history. I want to be clear. This is not just some fluke. It is a feature of a rigged economy. Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill cut healthcare for millions of Americans to give guys like Elon bigger tax breaks.
So, President Trump, he removed the people who were on free healthcare, who were not qualified to be on free healthcare. If you're able-bodied, if you're able to work, you're not supposed to be on these benefits. That's what he removed. During COVID, the government essentially gave a bunch of benefits to Americans who could afford healthcare. They simply did a blanket bonanza to everyone so that healthcare could be available to all, even if you could afford it. And that bloated the bill for the government. That's what President Trump cleaned up. And the Democrats continue to repeat this lie. They continue to repeat this lie, and they want the rest of us to turn off our brains and not do our own research. So, so Elon Musk became a trillionaire off of services that he's providing, products that he's creating, companies that he's building. That's how he became a trillionaire. Everyone else is thinking about small things. Elon is thinking about how to get to Mars. And you know what? They say shoot for the stars and maybe you'll land on a mountain or something. But he's saying, I want to get to Mars. But while he's trying to get to Mars, he's designing rockets that essentially land themselves. He's designing satellites to blanket the world with internet access, because all of those things are offshoots of his efforts to get to Mars. And he's making tons of money off of it. And SpaceX goes public today. And of course, it propels him to become a trillionaire. And they are butthurt. Okay? None of these guys, it's too soon to rant. I just caught myself ranting again. None of these guys know how to build a business. They just steal money. Okay, now I'm accusing them of doing the things that they accuse Elon and President Trump of doing. With what proof? Of course, we've heard of the stock trading accusations. Okay. And then we've heard of the lobbyists. Okay. Like there's a lot of corruption in Washington and they partake of it. But a man who has companies, who built electric cars, his electric car company is the premier electric car company in the world. More advanced than every other EV company. But it's horrible that he's a trillionaire. Even here, where I live, where they hate him, where they hate President Trump, I still see Teslas. I still see cyber trucks because they are the best in the world. So it's insane. Let's keep watching.
The tax code rewards CEOs for firing workers and replacing them with AI. Loopholes have allowed Jeff Bezos to pay an effective tax rate lower than a Boston public school teacher. And we are left with a country where a handful of billionaires at the top pop champagne in their $300 million yachts, while working people take on even more shifts to try to pay off their student loan debt.
Yeah. The people who can afford to buy yachts worked for it. And they are rewarding themselves for the work they did. You weren't there when Jeff Bezos was working out of his garage using doors as desks, as desktops. He did that for years. And now that he's enjoying the benefits of his labor and sacrifice, it's such a horrible thing. Now, here's Pocahontas. I'm going to call her that. Here's Pocahontas back in 2021, saying that Elon Musk is a freeloader and falsely claims that Elon pays no tax. But a week later, it was revealed that Elon will be paying over $11 billion in taxes for the year. But you know what? Even though these facts are out there, they continue to repeat the lie like she just did.
The world's richest freeloader evidently has a very thin skin. But you know the part that really makes me angry about this? It's on behalf of every public school teacher, every waitress, every computer programmer, every street cleaner who actually paid taxes. And that means they paid more than Elon Musk did. When these guys not only get to rake it all in, but then rub everybody else's nose in it while they head off into outer space and declare how they did this all on their own when they were subsidized by the federal government and subsidized by every waitress and by every public school teacher who paid their taxes. This is wrong. And Elon Musk needs to eat a big dish of that.
He's a freeloader, and he doesn't pay his fair share of taxes. And it has been announced this morning that he will pay $11 billion in taxes.
Guys, one person is paid in 2021 $11 billion in taxes. Okay? Huh. And Elizabeth Warren claims that all of the street sweepers, bus drivers, teachers pay more than Elon.
That just seems like a really big contribution to me. Good for him is what I say. Look, Elizabeth Warren's whole diatribe about how the rich don't pay their fair share, we all know it's wrong. We know that the top 1% pays 40% of taxes. I don't know how many times you can keep saying these things. Elizabeth Warren doesn't care. It's her line. It's not true. It's a major falsehood. And it drives so much discontent in this country and so much partisanship. I think it's really a shame. But on this one, man, does she look like a loser?
Well, the truth is that it's intentional, guys. It's intentional because the Democrats need to drive up the feeling of malcontent. They need to have that, oh, there's a wealth disparity. Is there a wealth disparity? Yes, there is. I would like to say that there's a wealth disparity for the most part, and I'm not talking about people with generational wealth, old money, people who inherited their money. I'm talking about people who literally built their wealth over the last 30 years. There's a wealth disparity because there's a disparity of effort. There's a disparity of effort. Okay? There are those who work both hard and smart, like Elon Musk, like President Trump. Okay? Of course, President Trump is not a trillionaire. He's a billionaire, not a trillionaire. But Elon has gone the extra mile. And he just crossed that. Everyone predicted he would become a trillionaire before the end of this year. Now, let me know your thoughts in the chat because I'm diving into the chat to cover your chats thus far. Okay, we're 14 minutes in and we've looked at a few things. I wanted to talk about the Elon story because just look out for Bernie Sanders. Okay, Bernie Sanders started 15, 20 years ago attacking the millionaires. And then suddenly he became a millionaire when he sold his first book. He became a millionaire and then he stopped attacking the millionaires and started attacking the billionaires. Now that Elon is a trillionaire, I'm sure he's going to start talking about the trillionaires. And then for the socialists out there that say no one should be able to take $1 billion. Elon didn't take $1 billion. And right now, he didn't take $1 trillion either. He created value in the world. People appreciated that value. And then, because they bought into that value, he became rich. It's not unfair. It's the way the world works. And people like Elizabeth Warren want you and I to hate people who are creating the jobs, to hate people who give us an example of how to build up our lives and build up our wealth, and to look to the government, the savior of the little guy, and then essentially stop being motivated to work hard, stop being motivated to dream. Elon has given everyone a reason to dream out there, and that's what I believe. I believe now people who have been dreaming, I want to be a billionaire, now he's upped the ante. Now people are going to be saying, I want to be a trillionaire, and that's a good thing. It means more jobs are going to be created. It means more people are going to be raised out of poverty. That's what it means. These people want a dark picture of the world. They want everyone to be so black-pilled that they can't imagine themselves being successful. Now this is the part where I usually pivot into another story, because I have a segue into the Carmelo Anthony saga, because we have more rancid stupidity out on the internet. I just opened up with good news, of course, with a little sprinkling of the insane reel that we just watched of leftists losing their minds. Okay, but let's read the chat, okay, guys? Intergalactic Wrangler says she's jealous. She got Gibbs. She's got lots of money, I guess. She's not helping anyone. No, it's the economy of envy. That's what this is the economy of envy. Hate someone so much because they're doing better than you. And then you're going to see other millionaires in Hollywood. These are millionaires. They'll never be poor a day in their life. But you know what? It's convenient to hate somebody who's making more money than you are, and they're going to be they're going to be on the side of the champagne socialists who essentially are wearing designer clothes. They're living in multi-million-dollar houses, and they're telling the rest of us how we're all supposed to be satisfied with being equal. It's just insane. Gardening says, how many millions of dollars has she made on her $174,000 job? Of course, like, these people are millionaires. All these clowns in Congress are millionaires. They've made money. They're ripping off the taxpayer, and they're claiming that they're serving the little guy while they're fattening their bank accounts. Intergalactic Wrangler said, I hated her even when I was a Democrat. These people have nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer. And speaking of people who have nothing to offer, I saw this video in my feed this morning. And I hope that my feed will be cured of seeing all of these crazy people soon, because it's just pouring in. This radio presenter, Dominique DePrima, claims Black protesters weren't yelling racial slurs outside the Carmelo Anthony courthouse. And once I saw her say that, I was like, what? There are videos for days of these people doing so, and this shows the evidence.
No, that's not right. The Black people were not yelling racial slurs at the white supremacists.
Only good cracker is a dead cracker. Only good cracker is a dead cracker.
No, that's not right. The Black people were not yelling racial slurs at the white supremacists.
Only good cracker is a dead cracker.
I'm playing it twice intentionally.
Only good cracker is a dead cracker.
These people are liars, okay? They're liars, and okay, they're liars. They're evil, hateful people. That's all I'm going to say about that before I go too far. Chrissy is in the chat. Good to see you. Chrissy says, I very much dislike Pocahontas. Okay, so guys, I'm going to say something that is weird, okay? I don't know if I dislike these people or if I hate these people or if it's just that I hate what they're doing. I think for me, it's that I hate what they're doing. I try not to hate people. And if I find myself hating people, I have to pull back and work on my heart. Okay, I have to work on my heart. And I want to ask you guys to consider my position. Okay, think about what I'm doing and see if it works for you. Because I think it's healthier for us to go through life not hating people, but hating the actions that they do. Okay, it's like we say in church. Okay, hate the sin, not the sinner. Okay, so it's very easy, and Chrissy has essentially clarified. I don't hate her. I dislike what she has gone. I dislike she has gone dark. Yeah, and that's the position I want us to take. You know, it's a slippery slope when we're confronted with people who aren't very good people. I call them evil because what they're doing are evil. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. A good tree produces good fruit. Jesus said, an evil tree produces evil fruit. So if I see evil fruit, I'm like Jesus. I'll say, this is an evil tree. So they're evil. And it's fine. I'm not saying this to justify my statements. I'm saying it because it is the truth. And when we call it out, it helps us to position ourselves properly. For example, you have, the thing. Okay, guys. The thing that social media has done for most of us is that we've been given a front row seat to the depravity that is in the heart of people. Like this very beautiful young lady. She's nice. She's beautiful. There's a man somewhere that's attracted to her. And she says let's just have a listen to what she says about the Carmelo Anthony situation.
So Carmelo Anthony got 35 years. A 17-year-old. 35 years. Under those facts, that's cruel. It's cruel. I'm gonna go live later on. Like 6:30, I'll go live, but like 35 years.
So she doesn't like the fact that a 17-year-old boy who just turned 18 this year killed another 17-year-old boy. She's talking as if Carmelo Anthony ran over the neighbor's dog and got 35 years in prison when he could have gotten 50 or 70. All right? Evil. And then you have this showed up, and this is one of the videos that, I think this is one of the videos that, no, I'm coming to the one that Gardening sent me. I'm trying to get all the trash out of the way. Why? I'm going to move from this to the positives, because while there's a lot of negatives, there's a lot of positives out there. It's just that the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, social media algorithms promote the negatives, is the way they're designed. Anything that's going to provoke outrage or a reaction is pushed by the algorithm. So this black mom says that she arms her 10-year-old son and then claims that Austin Metcalf got what he deserved. This is a mom. Okay?
I have a black son. He's 10 years old. And
I don't refer to my kids as black. I have 3 kids. I don't know, you guys have been watching me for a fair bit. Have I ever referred to my children as black? When you meet parents like this, who start with race, they are racists. They are racist. I just picked up my daughter, from her friend's birthday party. Her friend is white. My children are not taught prejudice. They're not taught prejudice. Okay? Even though they run into some prejudice themselves, we train them to not have any prejudice. We train them to be colorblind. Are there difficulties with interracial relationships? And when I say relationships, I don't mean of the romantic kind. I mean of the platonic kind. There are. But we deal with those differences with wisdom. We need to recognize that our cultures are different. The way we handle situations, very different. And we need to respect those differences, not weaponize those differences. That's what we're seeing right now on social media. So this mom decides that she's going to arm her 10-year-old son.
We live in a cruel world this day and time. The world has always been cruel. But today, even more, it was self-defense. It was fuck around and find out. You fucked with the right person and you found out. Sorry it had to be that way. You should have never fucked with that little boy. And like I said, I have a 10-year-old son and he goes outside, but I make sure he always have something on him to protect him.
So we're not going to go too far. I said, okay, I'm going to play the rest where she describes the weapons.
A sock of batteries, whatever I give him for protection, to protect himself, because he should be able to go outside and play like a normal kid without some little Billy, Bob, or Jimmy coming to fuck with him. Y'all got to teach y'all kids to stop messing with people just because of privilege.
So let's go to the positives, because you have people like that who engage in positives.
As a Black conservative woman, let me make something very, very clear here, okay? No white conservative person has ever said that they want me to hang.
Yep.
They've never called me a racial slur. They don't call me a monkey. They don't think that I need to be put in a field, okay? No one has ever said those words to me. You know who has said those words to me, though?
People.
Black liberals,
yep.
White liberals, liberals in general, the accepting, tolerant, liberal left. They've all said those things to me. They always say they hate you, they think you're a monkey, they think blah, blah, blah. Yep. You need to be in a tree. Good luck being in Massa's house. That's what they say to me.
Yep.
No white conservative person has ever said those words to me, because lo and behold, color doesn't matter.
Yep.
They don't care about color. They don't care about what color I am, and they never will care about what color I am.
Yep.
Because I tell them the truth.
Yep.
If you guys actually opened up your minds, you would realize that the Conservative Party isn't racist. We're just not stupid.
Yeah, I read a comment that was posted on, I think it was the video from, was it yesterday or the day before? And the person introduced themselves and said, hold on, I'm going to read it out. I think I can find, gosh, what have I done? Okay, yeah, it's right here in front of me. So, he says, demo Nazi party meltdown. Like, this is a leftist calling me a Nazi. It's crazy, okay, right? It's like the left calling Jews Nazis, like they've done to Steve Miller, okay? Like, it's crazy, okay? It's crazy. Now we're gonna watch this video. This is a video of a Black father. Okay, now this one has gone it's gone viral. It's gone viral. Okay, this Black father mic drops Camilla Anthony supporter who said, "What do I tell my 5 boys?" I think we played that yesterday or so, after Anthony was convicted for murdering Metcalf. and here he is.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more. What do you want us to do?
I also had 5 boys. She doesn't know what to do after the Carmelo incident. Like what to tell her sons, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try something. Today, boys, when you go out into school, don't stab any other kids. You think you guys can do that? You feel good about that, Lee? You feel good about that, Ace?
Yeah.
Oh, you're Aunt Cheryl. This is Ace. So, is that a good commitment from everybody? We're not gonna stab any kids today?
Probably not.
Hey, try that, lady. That might work.
It wasn't really in my game.
Look, guys, it's really that simple. Raising kids, all you have to do is tell them what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Raise them right. And like I said the other day when we saw his grandma screaming outside the courthouse, I said that's why he had that in him to stab Austin Metcalf at the track meet because of where he comes from. And we've seen these moms who essentially have begun to train their kids to be violent against white people. Okay, that mom claims, now it's a claim. She did a video. She wants everybody to feel like she's on board with the outrage against the white community. And she says that she gives her 10-year-old son weapons when he goes out to play. These people are just plain evil. I'm going to read the chat, okay? If you're watching and you haven't left a comment in the chat, what are you doing? Okay, but if you're too shy to chat, leave a like, share the video, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. So gardening, Chrissy, I keep missing. Chrissy says, I have no hate in my heart for anyone. I do think they are misguided, and I wish maybe they haven't fallen to the dark side and realized that Trump is not the enemy. Chrissy, I wish I could go there with you. I wish I could go there with you. I was listening to Jason Whitlock today, and I sent the link to the video to. I shared it with gardening. She sent me a link, and I said, "Hey, you might like this." And I sent her a video of something that I was watching. Jason Whitlock is a white content creator, and he sounds as if he's a minister. And he used a word that I've always I've read in the Bible. Reprobate. And you find that word in the King James Version in the book of Romans, chapter 2, I think it is. And it says, and I'm going to quote it offhand, I might butcher it. It says that because these people who have decided that they're going to live their lives in rebellion to God, I'm paraphrasing, by women lusting after other women, men lusting after men, and so on, that God gave them over to a reprobate heart, a reprobate mind. A reprobate mind is a mind that even when you're presented with the right thing, you will reject it and attack the person who presented it to you. And isn't that what we're seeing in the world today? I'm looking at the Democrat Party. There are Democrats who have a conscience. There are Democrats who have essentially said, and I've seen videos of Democrats who have said, look, this isn't the party I joined, I'm out. I've seen a bunch of them. But we're talking about these ones who for years, Hakeem Jeffries has been saying this insanity for years. Jasmine Crockett has been saying these insane things for years. Okay? Liz Warren, Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, Brandon Johnson. They've been saying it for years. They have a reprobate heart. And that means that even though they know the truth, they reject the truth because of their rebellion towards God. Intergalactic Wrangler says, hate is a strong word, but close enough for me. And he says, I need a little positive in my life. I hope the positives that I'm laying here are helping, because there are people out there who are saying the right things. I'm going to share the link to the Jason Whitlock video that I was referring to. He mentioned how a bunch of these people live in a delusion. And most of them have a reprobate mind, a reprobate heart that will reject truth even when it's in front of them. So maybe you guys would love to watch it, and I'll encourage you to subscribe to his channel, because I felt like, because sometimes you meet someone who kind of puts words to how you feel about what's going on in the world. Okay, Tom Sowell is one person who does it for me. And then this morning, Jason Whitlock did that for me with the craziness that we've been watching over the last few days. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I thought racism was going to die in the 90s, but a few bad apples keep pushing the narrative. It's convenient to continue to push the race narrative because it manufactures a problem. Politicians and NGOs need something to justify their presence, to justify you voting for them. And if there's no problem, they have to manufacture one. Chrissy says he had a whole life of people telling him that white people hate him. The boy he killed told him to get out of the tent, and he was stabbed in the heart and died. It's sad to see this happening. It's horrifying. And the thing that horrifies me more is that there are people who put on their phone camera, record videos, and they celebrate that evil. We saw it with Charlie Kirk. And the moment I saw it with Charlie Kirk, I knew that we're dealing with people who hate us. At the core of that movement, of the leftist movement, there's no negotiating with the leftist movement. There's no negotiating with them. No. They want you and I put in camps. They want you and I disenfranchised. Once they get power, they find ways of siloing us off out of power and influence so that they can continue doing the insane things that they're doing, as long as you and I continue to pay our taxes and fund their insanely wasteful lifestyles. Gardening says, if people would open their eyes, they would see the elite are the ones trying to keep the racial divide going. They don't want us to join forces. Again, you're right. I agree. And then Intergalactic Wrangler points out the obvious. Anyone with two eyes and a brain would see this. You can see the difference in parenting. It's a huge difference. One person says, I've got 5 boys. I don't know what to say to them. And then you have a father who says, hey, I know what to say to them. If you go to school, if someone pushes you, walk away. I think it was my son's first year in middle school. His first year in middle school. And there was an altercation on the basketball court. There were people who were trying to bully him. And I got a call from the school that he got into an altercation. Of course, he gets home and he gets the talk. Okay. Now, when I say the talk, it's not the talk that the racist, race-baiting black people give their kids. It is the talk of, hey, if someone tries to start something, walk away. Go to the library. Go read a book. At his middle school, the kids are allowed to walk into town during their lunch break. His mom and I said, stay in school. Don't leave the premises. You are banned from leaving the premises. And you know what? He's in high school now, and he still doesn't walk into town to, explore town along with his friends. He doesn't. He sits in his classroom reading manga or comics. That's what he does. So parenting plays a huge part in this whole story. The parents failed Carmelo Anthony. His parents failed him. It's as simple as that. Gardening says that man's family is like our neighbors. They taught their kids to say yes, ma'am, no, sir, etc. They are well-behaved children. The whole family is so kind and friendly. Yeah. Chrissy says, I'm not a total Trump follower for everything. I don't always agree, but I do feel he was supposed to be here to restore balance and order. And most of us, look, I agree. Look, I'm right there with you, Chrissy. I keep saying, and I have to keep repeating it, I don't support everything Trump does or says. I don't. But I do support kicking boys out of girls' bathrooms. I do support stopping DEI and ESG. I do support stopping the insane climate cult that had been running for years under the Democrats and the leftists. I support not transitioning kids without their parents' consent. In fact, I would say let kids be banned from being transitioned until they're 18. Let them make the decision as adults. The over-sexualization of kids is a red line I will not cross. And the other things that he's done that have been like, yes, these are in line with my values. The way he talks and he carries on, I wouldn't do it, but you know what? Maybe that's what the Republican Party needs to deal with this far left Democrat Antifa party. So I'm right there with you, Chrissy. Okay. So let's see. We have more good news. I think today this is more of a palate cleanser, okay? Because it's easy for us to watch all of the insanity and it's almost like everybody is insane. But there are still some sane people out there. Black woman is outraged over how Black Americans are acting over the Carmelo Anthony verdict. Let's have a listen.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Being Black right now is completely embarrassing. You niggas are some of the most vile, inhumane species that have ever graced the earth. For days, I've watched Black people jump around like monkeys.
Yep.
Act a belligerent fool. Act a whole entire nut over a decision that somebody chose to do.
Yeah.
And now, y'all are out here harming innocent white people in the name of Carmelo Anthony. I again, as I've said before, I am a Christian woman. And I know that the Lord don't make mistakes, but I just know that he has to look at the nigga population and know that he definitely made a big time mistake with y'all. Since I'm on the road with keeping it real about you niggas, let's keep it real. Y'all with this nigga mentality mindset is holding white people hostage. And you're holding white people hostage for some shit that you did. Because see, you niggas have been violating God. Y'all have been violating God since the biblical time. Y'all have been so disrespectful to the word of God so bad that he put a curse on us. He said that your kids and your kids' kids and their kids are going to feel the effects of your disrespectfulness.
All right. Now, she's going hard on this And the interpretation that she's bringing from the Bible, that's a different thing. Maybe I'll talk about it. Now, guys, do you know I have a different channel where I talk about things from the Bible? It's called Crossroads Faith. I'm going to be putting content there, like talking about stuff like this and my thoughts about her interpretation of that scripture. Okay, maybe I'll do that. But let's talk about what's happening today. You know, you guys have heard me. I'm very hard on the Black community for all of the insanity. I talk about Africa and what I've seen for over 40 years developing in Africa, growing up in Africa. And I asked the question, if Black people were so advanced, if Black people were so as advanced as the woke left want everyone to believe, Black Africa would be the most developed part of the world. Do you know what they tell you? Oh no, the white man is holding them back. I grew up in Nigeria. The white man isn't holding us back. The white man isn't going into every home, every clan, every village in Nigeria where I come from. And the people in those villages, okay, do this. Anytime someone from that village gets appointed to public office, the village gets together to figure out how that office can be used to loot the wealth of the state for the benefit of that village or clan. I didn't see any white person influencing all of that. I didn't see any white person influencing the Black bureaucrats in Africa who routinely rob the countries that they're supposed to be serving and developing year after year after year for decades, taking the wealth of those nations and going to Switzerland to store the wealth and going to England to build houses. I didn't see I didn't see one white person going in there and making it happen. The insanity must stop. All right, so I love what she said, but guys, I'm going to spoil your run, because this evening would not be complete if we didn't talk about these two fools. The Gin and Juice podcast, co-hosted by Melissa Fredericks, the wife of comedian Kev on Stage, and her sister, give this evil, wicked, third world advice.
Don't say, no, I'm not. If they say, can you be fair? Don't say, no, I'm not finna put a Black man in jail. Don't say that, okay? Because if that's what you're gonna say, you could have stayed home. You have to go and be like, no, I will hear the evidence. I can be fair. Don't say, I hate white people and I don't care what he did. Don't do that. That's what people were doing in this case. Okay. And then everybody's like in an uproar because there's no Black people on the jury, when damn near half of the Black people who could have been on the jury canceled themselves out. Yeah. Don't do that. Okay. So don't do that. See, somebody in the comments talking about that's what got me put out. Don't do that. When you go up there, say, no, I have never heard about this case. I can be fair. Say that. Okay. And then mean it. Believe it a little bit.
So these two fools, I'll stay with fools because they behave like there's no God. And the Bible says, a fool says in their heart there's no God. These fools are coaching Black people, racist Black people, on how to deceive the process or to hoodwink the jury selection process in case they're selected for a murder trial against a Black person. So here they are acknowledging that there was an attempt to bring in Black people into the jury pool. But the Black people disqualified themselves because they said they could never vote in favor of sending a Black brother to prison. So they disqualified themselves because they showed that they could not be impartial. So at least I'll give that to them. They were not lying like most of the other charlatans out there who claim that there was no black person on the jury pool, as if they weren't called in and they disqualified themselves because they were being racist and prejudiced. So she didn't do that, but here she and her sister are coaching racist black people on how to hoodwink the jury selection system. Now, it starts with something like, okay, black people are hoodwinking the jury selection system because they don't want to send a black person who violently murdered another child or teenager who's white. And they're smiling and laughing and saying, look, you need to go in there and deceive them. This is what you do. If they don't repent, they're going to hell. I'm sorry. For those of you who are watching and like, I mean, he's talking about hell. Yeah, I believe there's a heaven and I believe there's a hell. You can make fun of me all you want. But you know what? You're safer dealing with someone who believes there's an afterlife and a reward for living a certain way, while you're alive. You're safer dealing with that person because they fear a higher being. They fear a higher being that they have to answer to. And they have to answer to them based on how they treat you, not based on the color of your skin. But because you're a child of God, you were created in the image and likeness of God. And so they have to answer to God for how they treat you. You're safer in the hands of someone like that, not people who routinely just act like there's no God and pretend like he doesn't exist from Monday to Saturday, and then show up on Sunday in their Sunday best, go and hoop and holler and foxtrot in church and sweat, and then go back on Monday and repeat the entire cycle of godlessness. Okay, so if I'm talking about heaven and hell, you're safer with me because I know that I will give an account of every word I say. That's what Jesus said. I will give an account of every word I say. And that's why when I want to say certain things, I pause, because I know I will give an account for every idle word I say. I may not be as entertaining as the other guys out there who let it fly. Okay? I may not be as entertaining as them, but I want to know that I did everything I could to count my words and make sure that they are meaningful and helpful to you. All right, I'm going to get off that soapbox. So there are people out there muddying the waters and sowing division. All right, I'm going to read the chat, but before I do that, occasionally we find things that, surprise us and shock us. And this shocked me. Liberal law professor Dante Mills on Camilla Anthony, he says, I think the law worked. I read this and I thought I was dreaming, but he did. Let's have a listen.
I'm a lawyer. It's my profession. I truly believe in it. I think the law worked here. I'm also a law professor, and I teach my students that you have to look at individual cases. Texas has a stand your ground law where he's not required to leave that tent, even if it's not, sportsmanlike to be there. But you still can't take an escalation. You can't turn a shove into a stabbing, and that's what the jury saw here. He still gets the benefit of the law, like stand your ground, like self-defense, but the jury just rejected it because they said he escalated too much. But we have to really pay attention to the facts of this case, and I think in this case, the jury got it right.
Yeah. All right, so that was a shocker, and I was surprised to hear it, and it was good news. All right, now I want us to have a chat. Okay, so if you're watching, let's talk. Okay, Elon becoming a trillionaire. Good news. Black parents, black women out there calling out the insane woke black racist left who have taken this as a gift from God to try to stoke some racial sentiments in the United States. They've called them out good. We've seen more evil statements being made by these harpies out there. And I mean, it's going to happen because there are people out there who have rejected common sense. They have a reprobate mind, and they have rebelled against the laws of God. There's a line in the, I think is the Declaration of Independence. The God of nature and nature's God, I think there's a phrase that, I saw in the I think it was the Declaration of Independence. And there has to be a return to a fear of God. There has to be a return to a fear of God. For several days now, I've talked about the fact that, and I think I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm just going to keep it very brief. There has to be a return to the fear of God, because you see Black Americans adopting made-up names that sound African, that sound Islamic, that sound exotic, and they're trying to manufacture a difference from Christian culture. Okay, what happened to naming your son Michael, Tony, Anthony, George? But we have to go with Carmelo. I'm sorry, but low-hanging fruit. It's when you see that, it is a rebellion against the Christian roots of America, because they've been taught that Christianity is the slave master's religion. And so they've leaned more towards Islam, or the Nation of Islam. They've leaned more towards a rebellion against God. And when you have people who don't believe in God, in the 10 Commandments, you have parents who do and say the things that we've been watching over the last 3 days. Today is the last live stream for the week. And okay, I didn't play this. I queued this up because some people are a special flavor of retarded.
I ain't come out here to play. I came out here since you over here want to call this boy a murderer. Then we're gonna take the covers off you. Ain't no way in hell that you need to be a damn DA with this foolishness. Did you know? Hold this, please. I got you. That there is a 75-page federal lawsuit for sexual harassment of the DA that was saying that Carmelo Anthony is a murderer. Well, you need to be a registered sex offender, sucker. Let me read. We ain't know that. The pot calling the kettle black, huh? But you the whole DA out here. Oh, so you thought y'all was the only one that could go in PACES. And let me explain to you what PACES is. PACES is the database for federal lawsuits. See, we have a research team, baby, that's colder than the media. So let me go ahead and read a little bit of it and show you how disgusting this joke is. It's serious. After Jane Doe 1 refused defendant Willis, ain't that his name, Greg Willis? Oh, okay. Advances at the Galveston TDCAA conference, he treated her quite differently in the workplace. He began demeaning and berating her. In one closed-door meeting, he told her, "You think like a child, and I would treat you like a child." Defendant Willis likely appreciated the gender slurring that is implicit in a male supervisor telling a female employee that she thinks like a child. Oh, wait a minute, it gets better. Hold on. More than once, she tried to break free, but he held her tighter. These physical encounters were unwanted and sexual in nature. Jane Doe 1 eventually
put in for a position in the Victim Assistance Division and got it in December 2020. This role put her under the supervision of Chief Prickle. With moaning continued the most recent of the sexualized hugs back in April 2022. We got a damn freak for the DA, but you want to talk about Carmelo Anthony. No, we're going to talk about you.
Yeah, so she pulls out a report about a sexual abuse or sexual misconduct case that the DA is involved in. And essentially, they're saying, well, since you didn't vote or rule or handle the case in favor of a person who murdered another person, we're going to smear you and make everyone see how bad of a human being you are. Sexual misconduct is bad. It is. It's bad. It's not a good thing when you use your power over people who work for you. However, murder, sexual misconduct, the reasoning of these people is pathetic. Well, let justice be done on the sexual misconduct case. If the DA actually did those things, then he should be held accountable. It's really as simple as that. Okay. But to pull that out to say, let someone go who has been found guilty with overwhelming evidence that they murdered someone and they didn't have to escalate the situation is retarded. All right, guys. Again, I'm going to hold back. There's so much more to talk about, but we're going to leave it. So, guys, let's read the rest of the chat. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, "Wow, I've seen bad in all colors because there is evil in the heart of everyone." And he says, "I've also seen good." Intergalactic Wrangler says, "It's a choice of who we want to be. You can choose to be evil or good. Both are in all of us." That's true. One cannot exist without the other. All right, guys. This is the last live stream for the week. We're going to be back on Sunday evening, and we're going to see if the algorithm changes. Elon, being a trillionaire, might kick off a tirade of news, but I don't think it's as interesting for the news as race relations right now. I think they're going to be pushing this, and when they get tired of it, the news cycle will move on. But I want to say thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. You guys are amazing. Intergalactic Wrangler, Gardening, Chrissy, you still here? Because Chrissy went quiet. You know, it's Friday. It's Friday night, and you guys chose to hang out with us here. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you guys take the time to hang out, and I just want to say thank you for keeping the chat active, for posting your thoughts and your comments on the videos that we send. Now, I did promise that we'll talk about the links that you guys have been sending. And what I think is for the members-only live streams that we have on Tuesdays, the members-only live streams are intimate connectors between you and me. We're going to be saying things that I can't say on the public live streams, but we're also going to take the opportunity to look into stories that maybe we couldn't look into on the general live stream. So Intergalactic Wrangler sent several links over the last 24 hours. And I looked at those stories and I was very intrigued. But going through those stories would not be, it would be difficult to look at them during a general live stream because of the nature of the audience. Not everyone is as patient as you guys are, okay? You guys are the super fans. You guys are my super fans. You guys are my people. And every time I look at the view count, okay, it always comes down to you guys. Always. Like there are parts of the live stream that spike, and you see a surge in views, and then when we're wrapping up, it always settles down to the true believers, you guys. So I want to try to offer you guys something deeper. Intergalactic Wrangler sent a full video of Austin Metcalf's dad's interview, and that's what he's referring to. The father's interview is so long. It doesn't mean we're going to listen to the entire thing. Like we could pick out segments and listen to it and talk. Okay. The purpose of the members only live stream is to give additional value, an additional opportunity to connect with me, and really, really, bond over content and stories and talk about things, and of course, give you an update on what's going on in my life. Because I'll tell you the truth, this evening, I was feeling like I was coming down with something. I was like, it's been a stressful 2 weeks. So it was like, okay, my body feels like it's been under so much strain. So yeah, so there's a lot going on. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask those questions, during the members only live stream, give you more detail, and just be more transparent with you guys, and of course offer more value. So I think for the members only live streams, we're going to be picking some of these videos and going over them together and discussing them, and truly hanging out and sharing our thoughts on these things. A lot already happens during the live streams. You guys already hang out in the chat and talk and really share a whole lot, which I appreciate and I love seeing. But when it comes to what we can do with a general live stream and what we can do with the members only, they're very different. Okay, so I'm sure that you guys, if you're watching, I think Chrissy is watching from the main channel. So I think Chrissy is watching from the main channel. She tends to watch from the main channel, and then Intergalactic Wrangler and Gardening tend to watch from the live stream channel. So I see the view counts, spike at certain points in the video. I know when the view count spikes, and I know why they spike. But like I keep saying, I don't want to be a slave to the YouTube AI or algorithm. I want us to stick to value. And there's a reason why you guys came here. And the moment I begin to not offer that value, please tell me. Okay, don't tolerate me because you don't want to hurt my feelings. Tell me, hey, this is why I came. This is why I stayed. And you're losing the edge that brought me here. Okay, I want you guys to tell me that so that I can stay true to the true character of the live stream that brought you in. All right, so just feel free to tell me that. Now, when I see people come in and I see that they're coming in based on content, like right now we're dealing with something that is so dark. It's dark. And it's because it's all over the internet and it's flooding the algorithm. I really want to get away from it as soon as possible, but the conversation is ongoing, and maybe we should just lean in and have it, and then once it passes, we're back to, our usual programming and the news cycle and so on. So I see when I bring in these stories, we see people coming in who aren't committed to the channel. They want to watch and see. People get angry and cuss and swear and all that. And then when it cools down, they dip out to go look for somewhere else where they do all of that. So it's really interesting to watch, and I want us to kind of, take some of this rich content over to the members only experience, and then hang out over there. All right. So that's what I want to do, and I hope you guys would be there for it. Of course, the members only will always be available to anyone who can't make it for the live stream. It's going to be available after the fact. All right. So it's always going to be there for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been an interesting week. Lots of changes. I thought I would be doing this live stream or something similar from Heathrow Airport. I literally thought that yesterday and today, I'll be live streaming somehow on the road or in transit, but I'm still here. So it's interesting, and we're going to see how things work out. Okay, gardening, Intergalactic Wrangler, Chrissy, you guys rock. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You encourage me, and you make the live stream work. Your commentary and your thoughts and your vulnerability, okay, helps out a ton. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. I'm praying for you guys. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.